Morning everyone, Lee from Fryer Performance and Marine here. Thought while I was building this little Chevy, as previously discussed, I'll go through a couple of basics. One which people really get frustrated with, and I was definitely one of them 33 years ago. That's how to do or work out the firing order of an engine, so we can go ahead and adjust our valve rockers, alright, so all the valve geometry. Now, many years ago, I kind of worked out my own way, and I've applied it to every engine that I've worked on, and it's worked. It's perfect. Some manufacturers will tell you to do, 2 full revolutions of the crank, and adjust, X amount of valves on 1 revolution, turn the engine over and do the remaining. Well, that's fine if we've got certain injector preloads, especially for diesels. We have to follow those. But still, if you want to find the firing order or work out what valves to adjust, it's quite simple. All right, so I'm gonna show you a few that I'm familiar with. I'm not gonna go through 100 of them, but you'll get the drift, and you'll see my method of madness. So we have a firing order, let's say for a 4-cylinder engine, petrol, diesel, doesn't matter. So what we're going to do, I think 99% of them around the world, the firing order is 1, 3, 4, 2. Some are 1, 4, 3, 2. There's a mix, all right? All you do is split it in half, okay? And then we write the last numbers, so the second half of the numbers, in the first slot, okay? 1, put those there, here. All right, we got it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the valves rocking. So exhaust shut, intake just opening on cylinder 1. And then we know 100% that cylinder 4 is top dead center. And that's when we adjust our valves, all right? And again, adjusting the valves, I'm talking about adjusting the lash, all right? If you have a solid cam or a solid lifter, there's no hydraulics, all right? So we're going to put a feeler gauge in. It might be, 4 thou, 5 thou, depending on the manufacturer. And we're going to adjust that so that it has that proper gap, all right? On this engine, we've got a hydraulic lifter, all right? So we've got a preload. So what we do is we adjust the screw down to hold the rocker down until we can't turn that push rod. So we call it 0 lash. And then we're going to turn the screw another half a turn. And that's going to preload the hydraulic piston inside the anti-pump up valve. All right, so quite simple. Okay, let's choose another one. Holden V8. That's an easy one. 1 7 2 7 8 4 5 6 3. Remember that part. So split the number in half. Consider it a mirror. We're putting a mirror here. Okay. Because on the crankshaft it's opposing, okay? Half. Last set of numbers, put them in the front. 4, 5, 6, 3. First 4, put them in the second half. 1, 2, 7, 8, okay? So what we're going to do, turn the engine around until number 1 is rocking. So the inlet valve has come up, and you can watch the inlet start coming down. As soon as you're on that, what we call the rocking position, the rocking, and I'll show you that physically, we know the opposing cylinder is true top dead center, and that's when we know that the valves are shut and the cam is on base circle of the cam load, and that is where we need to make that adjustment. All right, so let's say we've adjusted number 4. We're now going to turn the engine around as in firing order. All right, so we're just going clockwise, standing from the front until number 2's inlet and exhaust start rocking. When we know they're rocking, we do number 5, so forth, okay? And then we know when we come back to number 1, we've done the complete set, all right? So that's Holden V8, all right? Any 4-cylinder, basically, 90% of them in the world. V12s, same thing. Caterpillar, oh God, Caterpillar V12, I think it's 14985 or 10 or 3, not 10, 3, 6, 7, 12. Whoops, running out of room there. So we split in half. We've got 12 cylinders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a line. Write these here. So So we got 11, 10, 3, 6, 7, 12. Now we're going to put the top 6 here. 1, 4, 9, 8, 5, 2. Same thing. Turn the engine around, top dead center. Oh, sorry, not top dead center. Firing order. All right, starting with 1, rocking. Exhaust valve is closing, inlet is opening. So that's what we call the rocking, okay, the rocking point. We know the opposing cylinder, which will be number 11, all right, is going to be top dead center, and that's when we adjust the valves and the rockers on that cylinder. Another one. All right, well, we've got a Chevy to do here, so let's do the Chevy. We need to know that one. All right, so the Chevy is a definite 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, oh God, 6, yeah, 5, 7, 2. All right, we're going to split in half. Last 4 numbers here, 6, 5, 7, 2. Put those here, 1, 8, 4, 3. All right, so let's go and get number 1 on the rocking point. All right, now on the Chev, excuse me a minute, on the Chevy, we have opposite to GM. So GM front left is cylinder number 1 on there, and number 2 is on the other side. All right. So sorry, number 1 is right hand bank, and cylinder 2 is on the left hand bank. So let's go with number 1. We need to get number 1 rocking. All right, number 1 rocking. So we know that this is number 1. All right, just bear with me for a minute. All right, so like I said, we need to have exhaust closing, inlet opening. All right, so obviously for the exhaust to be closing, it's going to be coming up. All right, and then the inlet is going to start coming down. Once we know that, then we know 100% that we can adjust number 6, all right? So number 6 will be 2, 4, 6, all right, because that's cylinder 8 there, okay? So let's see what's going on, all right? So exhaust, we need to turn this engine around until that one, oh God, it's a bit tight, fresh engine, all right? So the exhaust has got to be closing. It's on the wrong stroke at the moment, so we'll have to go around a little bit. Nearly there. Here we go. Okay, so you can see down there, the exhaust lifter is coming out of the bore, which means that exhaust is coming down. All right, so you can see it. Exhaust rocker is now going down. Now it's coming up. So now we stop as soon as we see the inlet start to go down. Whoop, there it is. So it's just started. So let's check cylinder number 6. All right, 2, 4, 6. So I've got it right. These should be loose. And there we go. All right, so they're loose. See how they're loose? Which means that they're top dead center. If one of these was tight, we've either assembled the engine wrong and we've adjusted this way too tight to start with, or we've stuffed up our firing order and the camshaft is actually pushing one of these down, which we know is the wrong sequence, okay? So that's good, all right? I've adjusted these ones, but that was just the first sort of, you know, way to show you. So what we're gonna do is I've adjusted all except for number 2. So let's find out on our little chart here, 2. So if we need to adjust cylinder 2, I need to get 3 rocking, all right? So let's do that. So number 3, so 1, 3, because it goes 1, 3, 5, 7, all right, 3. So let's go. Turn them around. So the exhaust, all right, the exhaust on this one is actually this one, okay? Exhaust, inlet. So we need to see that one come down, and then up, and then this one down. So let's go around. All right, well, so exhaust is going down. So when it comes up, the inlet should start going down. There we go. She's going down. All right. Inlet is down, which means number two should be top dead center, which means there should be no pressure on these because the camshaft base circle is at 0. So let's see. Yep, there we go. All right, see that? I can move it with my finger. So we are 100% right. So let's go. So I'll try and find my spanner here. So we need to go. Nobody tires and crap. Right. So what I do is I will adjust with my finger, okay, which is what we call the posi lock. This is a posi lock nut, and it's called a position lock, all right? So I'm going to back it off until I can move that push rod, all right? So I don't know if you can see that, all right? So that's too much, all right? That means there's movement. I need to get that to 0. It's what we call 0 lash. So I'm going to gently turn that with my finger until I can't. Yep, I can just. Ooh, I can just turn the push rod with my finger. You see that? Just turn it with my finger, but there's no up and down movement, which means I have 0 lash. Now, with hydraulic lifters, we're basically going to give it half a turn preload. They say half a turn to 3/4, but I go half a turn. All right, I've never had an issue. I think 3/4 sometimes a bit tight. All right, so being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position nut, I'm just going to choose a point, all right, because every dot is basically 60 degrees, all right. So I'm going to just tap that one. That's just a marking, so I know when I go around to, you know, half a turn, which is, where's my spanner? Lost my bloody spanner. Oh, that's a bar. I'll do my bloody spanner. Here somewhere. So, that'll do. Alright, so I'm going to turn it around 180 degrees. That's half a turn. So I want that dot to be adjacent, or opposite I should say. Alright, so there we go. And then there's a little grub screw inside here. So I'm going to turn that. And then just lock this off, the posi lock grub, with my finger. Doesn't have to be super tight. There is a spec, but I don't do it. All your apprentices out there, well, you need to do it by spec. Sorry, until you got the feel. All right, next one. So this is the inlet, same thing. So let's just check it, back it off a bit. All right, up and down. I'm grabbing the push rod. All right, for those of you that aren't sure what push rod is, I'll give you a bit better view. All right. There's a push rod there, okay? It's a rod that goes from the valve rocker all the way down to the hydraulic lifter down in there. Alright, so let's go again. So I will need to do 0 lash, being a hydraulic lifter. So I'm going to turn this until I can still turn the push rod, but I can't get up and down movement. Right there, we're done there. Perfect. So now, very simple, isn't it, guys and girls? We'll just mark one of those. Alright, I'm going to turn it half a turn. Whee! Around there. And then lock that off. Alright. Now, some of you out there probably know how much I get into and how specific I am about tensioning and marking, adjusting nuts. There's been many a times over the years I've seen you know, some of it's complacency, some of it's rushing, some of it's just, you know, people not being taught properly, but these haven't been tensioned and engines have sort of detonated, or there's been a lot of issues here damage wise because the nuts have come loose and the rockers have come out, or bridges, it doesn't matter. Everything on an engine you must tension, okay? So I will go over the tension of these locking grub screws. Okay, but some basic engines don't have that. They just have a stud and a nut. So you adjust the stud and then you tension the nut. Okay, that's 90% of engines. All right, so that's it in a nutshell. I hope you sort of understand that. Just remember the firing order. If you're in the middle of the desert, you're in the transport yard, you're at home, you're at a mate's house, right? If you keep to this method, you'll never, ever, ever have an issue, okay? Never. You'll always be able to work it out. As long as you can get the firing order. Now, every firing order is on Google, all right? So it'd have to be a pretty bad day if you can't get the firing order wherever you are in the world. Obviously be at a reception or you don't have a phone. So yeah, all right? So just remember, get the firing order, all right? Write the firing order down, split it in half, and then put the last digits underneath the first ones, and then over to there, all right? Then you know your crankshaft. Consider the line in the middle a mirror. If you can do that, you never have an issue. And I've been doing this many, many years. Many motors, from mining, civil, marine, automotive, or car, shall I say, and I've nailed it. All right, so hope you learned something all. Sort of comment or ask any questions in the comment section. I'm happy to go through it with you. But yeah, that's it. All right, enjoy your day, and I'll see you in the next vid. Thanks all. Catch you later.